Full stop. Can't believe I live in your thoughts. I think about you all the time, morning, evening, and midnight. Such a wonderful delight. Forgo, give up everything that I own. Yeah, I'd give it all up now just to be with you somehow. Unexpected love was found.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Amity Bloom. Today I'm going to be taking you through my bullet journal. I have already shared part 1 where I teach you how to alter an old book, cover it up with pretty papers, and make it your bullet journal. I have started using it and I have to say I'm in love with this. So this is my first page of March. I have already started using my bullet journal for the month of March. I have planned out the first and the second weeks of March, and I'm going to show you guys how I plan the third week so you get an idea for how I use my bullet journal. After using this for a few weeks, I have to say I love this way of using an altered book as a bullet journal. If you treat the book pages, such as these pages, as normal paper, as you would any normal copy paper or any type of paper that has no words on it, and you just see it as paper, it makes it really easy to use. And what I really love is that I don't feel like I'm messing up my pages. I don't feel bad about writing in it or using it and altering it to suit my needs. And I think that's what I really enjoy. It's not a journal that I spent hours making, it's just a book that I altered. So I don't feel bad about using it. All of the papers that I use in my bullet journal to write on, you'll notice are cream, whites. They all come from recycled things. So to create my first page, I just took some vintage paper that is from one of the end sheets of this actual book. To cover up the words, I added some washi tape, and then I used some of the printables from my bullet journal printable that's in my shop, the label for March, and then the calendar, and it is undated, so I added in the dates, trimmed it down so that it would fit on the page, and then I just added some tissue paper, some washi, and a little strip of antique wallpaper. And that's pretty much it. It took me less than 5 minutes to completely cover up this page. And then with my marker, I just highlighted the days of March that I have something important to do. This works perfectly for me because I usually don't like writing in my monthly calendar. It stresses me out seeing everything like laid out in a month. I just like to see the dates, and then I like to put what I need to do in a list. For some reason, I just like seeing lists more than a calendar. On the other side, I decorated it with some really pretty Italian paper and this really cute French ephemera. It's a little penguin. I have no idea what it means. If any of you guys know French or speak French, or I might actually Google translate it after I'm done, or I will put it up here up at the top. But it just looks so cute. It's a cute little penguin. I just loved this image. The color, the image, even the font. So I put it on here with washi tape. And this is why I like this style of bullet journaling. You have the functionality, but you can also be creative and add some happy pages, just pages that inspire you and make you happy. And then on the back of this page, I covered up the script with some antique scrapbook album pages, passed it through my typewriter, and I wrote March is a month of expectation. Did some collaging because I messed up. I was actually doing a little doodle and it looked really ugly, so I ended up covering it up with some vintage paper. Added a little script up at the top just because I wanted to, and then I wrote in my goals and my projects. I still have to fill out some of these pages, but these are just the goals for the month, the projects for the month, and this way I see everything that I need to do in a list format. So here are my goals, my projects. On this page I used one of my vintage labels from my shop. I just wrote important dates. Used that leftover paper to cover up some of the script from the book. I left the script to knit one's brow from the actual book because I thought it was really funny and really cute. And then I just decorated it with some washi, some French paper. I add pieces where I want to add pieces. If I mess up, I cover it up. I write what I want to write. It's not perfect, and that's what I love. It's just perfect for me. And something really cute that I did with this page is, since this is about important dates, I doodled the little forget-me-not because of the name, like forget-me-not. And in the paper I wrote, forget not to be patient with yourself. It's important to always remember that. So that's what I also like, adding little pieces throughout my bullet journal that just have nice little phrases as a pick-me-up. So then on this page, this is the week that we're on now. This is my first week of March. This is some antique French paper that I just added on top to cover up the words. And then I just collaged some papers, a little sticker of Russia, and this Oh So Happy script, some washi tape that I did a little bit of paint, and then I added the washi to make it look a little bit blue. And then this is actually a really lovely image that Junie sent me. Hi Junie, if you're watching, I received your happy mail. And I absolutely adored this little image that she shared with me, so I trimmed it down to size. I added some washi up at the top so that I could flip it, and I could add a little quote or add something up there. So I loved how that page turned out. It just makes me happy. I want to have things in here, papers, images, phrases, that inspire me to actually use my bullet journal. That's why I like to call it a life book instead of a bullet journal, even though I am applying that bullet journal method. It's a life journal where I plan functionally my life, but also creatively. So the way that I like to cover up the book pages is with paper that would end up in the trash, so scraps. But when I talk about scraps, I don't mean little paper pieces. I mean actual big scraps. And I know this might look very overwhelming, but this is my little folder of bullet journal goodness. I have stickers that I'm going to use. I have antique ephemera in here. This awesome, oh my gosh, this is such a little rad book. I love the colors, I love the size, and what I really enjoyed is that throughout the book there's of course script writing and really nice little typewriter font. Different types of fonts actually, which I really appreciate. And there's also blank pages, so I can use this in my bullet journal. I picked this up as we were thrifting. I think it was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday, see? My bullet journal's coming in handy. I went thrifting yesterday with my mom and I picked this up for, I think it was $2. It was awesome. But what I keep inside of here, hold on, let me move my bullet journal so that I can actually show you what is inside. I feel like I'm showing you guys a journal. Might as well, I mean, it's huge. This also came in the Happy Mail that Junie gave me. So thank you, sweetheart. See, I use every little bit. So basically the story to this. This is something I picked up at the thrift store, 25 cents. Would normally throw it in the trash, but I thought it would be awesome to house all of my paper pieces that I want to use in my bullet journal. I have some coloring book pages. This is also from the inside of a book, or the back side of the book. I'm going to be using those in my bullet journal. The vintage sewing patterns, I cut them open and then I use the inside to use for my weekly pages. It's a really lightweight paper, lovely color. This is the type of paper that I like to use for my weekly pages to cover up the book script. You can also use antique ephemera or even old vintage scrapbook album pages. So all of the pages that I use to cover up the script or the text from the book are lightweight recycled papers, and I tend to stay away from scrapbook papers or anything that might be too thick or too bulky. You can also use envelopes, open them up, and use them as paper to cover up your book pages, craft paper, antique planner pages, ledger, piano paper, and antique ephemera. All of these papers are the perfect consistency. They are lightweight and they are perfect for journaling on or using to collage in your bullet journal. You're recycling papers and giving them new life, new meaning, and it makes it a lot easier to use them in your journal. I also recommend using washi tape, masking tape, any kind of tape that you like to adhere papers to your pages and to also decorate the pages without adding any bulkiness. I love using washi tape on the edges of my weekly pages, in the middle of my pages, to tip in pictures, add decoration, and to even attach pretty papers that make me happy whenever I open up my journal. So now it makes a lot more sense when you see the pages of my bullet journal. This is made from the sewing pattern booklets, and then I just added some washi on the side, did some collaging, and I am planning out my week. I love using a Micron pen. I use this Micron pen Pigma 05, and I use the brown ink as I love how it looks. So that is the pen that I use, and then when I need to write something in color, I use the Tombow Art markers. These markers are amazing. I have a couple of them in different colors, and I absolutely love them. These are the ones that I use in my bullet journal in my favorite colors, and I use them to do doodling like I did on this page, and then I use them in my monthly calendar, and then I also use them to write in my weeks. I usually use them to highlight something, like on this, documents don't define you. I love that. I love adding little phrases like that because this week is all about the documents, taxes, and so many things that I need to do. So documents don't define you. And then this is the second week of March. I have already done some pre-planning. I'm going to a concert on Saturday. My birthday's on the 12th of March. So I kind of did a little happy space right there. And I have a very special video in store for my birthday that I can't wait to share, but this is a little sticker. And this is how I plan. It might look a little crazy, but this is how I plan, and this is how I'm using my bullet journal. But I used some gouache paint, and I covered up the book page with some pages from that coloring book, and just did a little doodle, put my color palette, just practiced my leaves, and yeah, decorated it with some tape. Washi tape and the stamp. Oh my goodness, the stamp. I purchased it from the antique store that I went to yesterday and I loved it. But I did stamp it upside down. But then again, I'll have more chances to stamp it correctly in my bullet journal. But yeah, that's how I'm using my bullet journal so far, and I hope that it helped you see how much potential an altered book has to be your bullet journal. And I'm going to plan the third week of March as well as creating one of my happy pages. And I have already selected the things that I want to use. I'm going to be using some fabric on this page and some of my really lovely sentiments. And then I'm going to share with you how I set up my weekly spread so that you get an idea for how to use an altered book. The main rule when using a pre-existing book as a journal or a bullet journal is that any page that you use, let's say this page for instance, you want to rip out at least 5 to 7 pages after that. And if you're going to be collaging on top of them or painting on top of them or even adding fabric like I am, you want to give yourself that wiggle room so that your book doesn't get too bulky. And like for instance, this is the second week of March and some happy pages, and I'm already on page 36 of the book, so I've taken out a lot of pages. And for my planner, this is only about 5 pages, but in reality, we're on page 36 to 49, so you'll see that you take out a lot of pages as you go. So every page that you use, rip out 5 to 7 pages, and you'll be good. You can even rip out more if you wanted to, but for me, 5 to 7 tends to work out pretty well. Let me show you how I alter simple book pages and turn them into bullet journal pages. I trimmed my paper to size, and it's very important that you add glue on the corners of your pages so that they don't start to curl up. And you instantly have a blank canvas to work on. Lovely, so lovely, and you can sometimes even see the script behind it. Since I am using thin paper, I'm not using thick cardstock, or else that would be way too bulky. You can sometimes see the script, which I really love. This is some French receipt paper, but a blank piece of it. But I did leave a little bit of the script there, just for fun. And now I'm just going to take a bit of the washi I'm just going to add it right there to give it some character. And then I'm going to cut out some pages. I'm actually going to save this page as I like William Shakespeare, so I want to use this for some collaging later. I have already taken out 7 to 8 pages, but I just wanted to show you how easy it is to pull the pages out of your book. And now I want to decide where I want to cut my fabric out. Now that I have my fabric glued, I want to take a little scrap of my antique scrap of paper in one of my sentiments. These can be found in my Etsy shop. They're my Phrases and Sentiments digital. I believe this is from the Bloom one and this is from the Autumn one. I like to mix and match as I think they go really well together. And they don't have to make sense, like you just choose the sentiments that make you happy. I like Continue to Grow Your Own Tree, Feel the Light Breeze. I love that, so pretty, so pretty. And so the way that I like to plan is I like to turn my book over. Since I used a book that was 7 inches across, I am fortunate that it divides evenly into 7 inches, which is perfect for the days of the week. But if you have a slightly bigger book or a slightly smaller book, you want to make sure you accommodate the measurements so that you have even spacing, or you don't even have to draw lines if you don't want to. And I like to do my lines with a Micron 01 in black, and then I like to write my dates in a Micron 05 in brown. Monday, I have to go back and see, Monday the 16th. The decorating with the washi, little doodles, sentiments, that comes later once I'm actually using the book. Now I want to finish this off with a little stamp. I stamp it correctly this time. It either doesn't stamp correctly or it stamps upside down, but I kind of like it. It adds to like the vintage aesthetic of this page. And I like how there's 3 elements on the side, the little washi, the script, and then my stamp. I love this. I love this page so much. It's definitely different than the previous pages with my painting. This is very springy to me, kind of like a garden theme. This reminds me of, instead of a little teapot, it reminds me of something that you would, a watering can. Something that you would. A watering can. This looks like a little watering can. Very spring-like. And then this one's very botanical themed. I just love the purples and the flowers and the little French paper here. And then this one's more subdued. I love this so much, you guys. I'm obsessed with this. And now the back of this page is going to be week 4 of March. I'm going to tear out probably 7 pages. And then I'm going to create another happy page, or I'm going to do a collage, or I will start off April's page. And then I will definitely be filming the process for that page as well. So every month I will be sharing a plan with me in my version, of course, my way. And at the end of the year, I will be sharing a full flip of all the pages. Or let me know below, would you guys prefer monthly flips, or would you like to wait until the end of the year and see the whole book completely finished? Or would you like both? Definitely share below what you would like to see. And the last tip that I like to do is whenever I work in my bullet journal, I like to clamp it closed at night and leave it like this on my desk. That allows for your pages to remain flat and they won't bulk up, no matter how much paint or ephemera you put on them. As long as you tear out 7 to 8 pages by every one page that you decorate, and then you either have a closure on it, you tie it up, or you clamp it shut, you're going to end up with a beautiful book that doesn't look like a little alligator mouth. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed. Let me know how your bullet journals are coming out. And I can't wait to share next week's video, as I have, I think, 4 to 5 videos to share actually. And I'm really excited. So of course, until next time, I hope that you have an incredible day full of peace and love. And I will talk to you guys very soon. Bye-bye, and have a great day.